It is a great honor for me to participate in this plenary session number 6 with my colleagues Ambassador Dr. Namira, Principal Legal Officer Michael, and PhD researcher Patrick. And I'm very thankful to Isolina for inviting me to this remarkable event. I would like to share with you some thoughts regarding the comparison between the 3 instruments for protecting the rights of all the persons. The Inter-American Convention on Protecting the Human Rights of All the Persons, binding instrument in the Inter-American System of Human Rights. Second, the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the rights of all the persons in Africa, binding instrument in the African System of Human Rights. And third, the non-binding instrument, the European Recommendation on the Promotion of Human Rights of all the persons in the European System of Human Rights. What these 3 instruments share is, of course, the challenge of population aging for the 3 regions, and thus the need to adapt the law and public policies to this new reality in order to respond to the new needs of families, communities, and societies as a whole. And on the other hand, the importance of the phenomenon of the feminization of aging that is rescued on the 3 instruments. When it comes to care and long-term care, the 3 instruments include the right to care and other connected rights, such as the right to equality and non-discrimination for reasons of age, the right to independence and autonomy, the right to safety and a life free of violence of any kind, rights of all the persons receiving long-term care, also informal and traditional care, right to privacy and intimacy, particularly for those receiving long-term care services, and the right to give free and informed consent. These 3 instruments have a different yet complementary approach. 2 important contributions can be noted in the European instrument. On the one hand, long-term care services are addressed with considerable specificity and expertise due to the high percentage of older people who are institutionalized in this region in comparison to other areas in the world, as well as the development and professionalization of long-term care homes and institutions in recent decades. On the other hand, secondly, the European instrument also stands out in its treatment of palliative care. This high importance given to care in the European recommendation is of course correlated to the full incorporation of women into the labour market and with a high degree of population aging taking place in this region. As the Global South regions experience prolonged increases in aging and the massive entry of women into the labour market, care is consolidating in these regions its place on the agenda as a priority area, in parallel with the development of economic security and health. If we take a look at the 3 instruments, we can see a progression in the conception of long-term care and who is accountable for it. The protocol, the African protocol, attributes care directly to the family and or community. In the Inter-American case, even if it's the family, which generally means women, who perform this care function, introduce the care to the state as a function that should be taken by the state. On the other hand, there is in the European instrument an assumption that it is the state that has to be accountable for it. It is, on the other hand, very remarkable in the African instrument that all the people are not only cared for, but are also subjects of care, meaning that they provide care. To finish, I would like to make an observation of the importance of these three instruments in the preparation of the International Convention on Protecting the Human Rights of All the Persons worldwide. These three instruments, the African, Inter-American and European, very much reflect the multiculturalism, multiple old age, the gender perspective, the intersections of aging with poverty and structural inequality that we see specifically these ones in the American and African instrument, as well as the lessons learned from the European instruments coming from the most aged region in the world. These three constitute three references of the utmost importance for a global normative framework that establishes human rights standards for all the persons and addresses the particularities of the aging phenomenon in the three different regions and in accordance with their specific needs. In other words, an international binding instrument should take into account these three references that show three different stages of aging that represent the phenomenon worldwide. Thank you very much for your attention and have a very, very interesting and productive day. Thank you very much.